Hello everyone, this is Shannon from That's So Pow, and today I am doing week 13 of my 2020 reads. This week was another week where I was a bit distracted and so didn't get so much read, but I did finish a couple of very short things. So first I finished The Tea Dragon Festival by Katie O'Neill. This is sort of a prequel to Katie O'Neill's The Tea Dragon Society, which I had read and loved. And I loved the Tea Dragon Festival just as much. The artwork is truly stunning. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful colors, soft lines, gorgeous scenery, so much beautiful nature, magical creatures. I mean, it's just the most beautiful artwork. And the story is so sweet. So this story is about a lot of things. It's about a lot of things to deal with community and responsibility, to deal with finding your calling, your passion, to do with helping each other. And as always with Katie O'Neill, there's a lot of diversity. There's characters using sign language in this. I mean, there's a lot of great things in this book, and it's just what I needed to be a little bit of a lift me up this week. I actually had checked this out a few weeks ago for my library before they closed down, and I had it sitting on my pile of books to read, but Shelby from Read and Find Out, who I've linked below, had mentioned this as one of her cozy reads, and I thought, you know, that's so true. I need to just read it this week to bring that little bit of comfort. So I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I would highly recommend it. The next book that I finished was Small Spaces by Katherine Arden. This is a middle grade horror novel that is the first book in a series where the second book, Dead Voices, is nominated for the BooktubeSFF Awards this year. So I wanted to go ahead and read the first book and then the second book for the awards. And I was lucky because my husband Sush really loves horror. Usually I stay very, very far away from horror, but because this is middle grade, I thought I could handle it and try to read it. He got excited and wanted to share in that experience, so he bought us a copy and has read this out loud to me. So I got the husband narration of this book, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. Even though horror is something I generally stay away from, that's mainly because I don't like violence and cruelty and things like that. But this book was very different. I think it's because it's middle grade. It definitely has a creepy factor, but it doesn't have violence, it doesn't have gore, and really the messages are very positive, are very much about friendship and about making the right choices and about caring about people and about opening up and forming relationships. I mean, there's just such great messaging in this, and I love Katherine Arden's writing, which I knew because I loved the Winternight trilogy with The Bear and the Nightingale and so forth. So I really just loved the writing, I loved the atmosphere, and I loved the main character, Ollie. She's a stubborn little girl, which is one of just my favorite character types. And I just liked her growth as a character, her arc over the course of the story. So I thought it was excellent. The premise of this is that Ollie lives in a small town, and she comes across a book called Small Spaces, and it's got some very creepy stuff in it. And then she starts noticing on a field trip to a farm with her school that some of the stuff that was in her book she's seeing, and it's very creepy. So I really liked it. I also liked how Katherine Arden took many different typical horror storylines and kind of integrated them, or in some ways, you know, had odes to those. So it was just really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the characters, I loved the relationships, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So those were the only 2 things that I finished this week, and one of them was read to me, the other was a graphic novel. I am not so on top of my reading right now, and I realized that, you know, I think a lot of us are going through that. It's just a little hard to concentrate, and I find that I'm just not in the mood to pick up anything with any sort of heaviness. All I want is kind of light, cozy comfort reads, and I realized that that's okay. And that's something that I should just accept and realize that this is probably going to continue for a little while. So I've decided that I'm going to just do a little bit of a modification of my plans for the next month. I generally do a priority for each month, and in April I had planned to do a priority of immigrant and refugee reads, but I think I'm just going to skip that. And I'm also going to give myself through the end of April to finish my March priority, which was Middle Eastern and Indian reads, because I've made almost no progress on that, and I really would like to read the books that I picked out. So I'll just continue that slowly through the course of April, give myself that extra time to just read some of the cozy comfort reads, as well as to read some of the stuff for the BooktubeSFF Awards. And then there's other things going on, like Maya's Women Write Classic SFF, which I want to read for, and also some buddy reads that I have planned. So I'm going to just kind of take a step back in terms of my priorities and take things a little bit slower so that I have that space that I need, since I'm not reading so fast right now. I hope that you guys are having good luck reading, or if you're like me and you're struggling to concentrate, then I hope you're just taking care of yourself and being gentle with what you need to get done. And if you have read any of the books that I've mentioned, go ahead, let me know what you thought below. I'd love to hear from you.